And welcome back to the program. Well, we're now joined by Jeff Schmidt. He's with Pensacola Sports, and he's going to talk to us about Pensacola Sports and kind of what their mission is here in the local area, but also some great upcoming events taking place in the latter part of the spring and maybe even going into the summer. If we have time, we'll talk about some summertime events coming up with Pensacola Sports. But Jeff, thank you so much for coming on the program today.
Thanks, Cam, for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, at first, I guess you're new to Pensacola sports, right? So, tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of what your role is with Pensacola sports now.
Well, I'm the director of events for Pensacola Sports. I've been here since September. Previous to that, I worked at the University of West Florida in recreation and athletic facilities and um, worked a little bit with logo motion marketing here in Pensacola. So I've helped host events for Pensacola Sports in the past and have been um, an active participant in a lot of the events that they've brought into town or hosted, whether it's collegiate championships or some of the local events like the Double Bridge Run.
So you're very familiar with the organization, and I know you'll do a great job. So welcome, and Jeff will be a familiar face on this show as we have Pensacola Sports on several times throughout the year to talk about their great events. I'm sure Jeff will be joining us for most of those. But Jeff, let's talk a little bit about Pensacola Sports in general before we dive into the upcoming events. What is the role of Pensacola Sports? What do you guys do in the community?
We've got a we've got basically a three-pronged approach. One, we are the sports marketing and sports tourism entity for Escambia County. We work hand in hand with Visit Pensacola to our specific mission is to bring sporting events and sports tourism to the area, and that can be bringing in events such as like the Sun Belt Basketball Championships, or we just announced a couple weeks ago that we're bringing the Southeastern Conference Women's Soccer Championships to the Ashton Brosnahan complex this fall. So they could be, we could be ringing rights holders like that, or it could be putting on our own events like the Firefighters Challenge, which was coming up in April, the 22nd, 23rd, and that same weekend we're doing a open water swim on the Santa Rosa Sound behind Flounders. So those are kind of our own events that we put on and promote, and they obviously give local Gulf Coast people a chance to compete, but we also obviously advertise to the Southeast. And last year we had a firefighter from Poland, so it's also some international components. So.
Yeah, let's talk about some of that stuff. So you mentioned, you guys, like you said, you bring top flight events here with the Sun Belt Conference basketball championships. And then, of course, the SEC announcement just the other day, a couple weeks ago, which was huge. But let's talk about some of the events that you guys put on. You mentioned the Firefighters Challenge. What happens there? Tell us a little bit about that event and how people can attend or get involved or ways that people can participate with that
one. It's we put that on in conjunction with the Escambia County Fire Safety, and there's a couple different divisions. One's a competitive firefighter division where there's 5 skill competitions basically that are all timed in a circuit that exhibit different firefighting skills that they need. And so we'll have teams from different firefighter departments across the Southeast come in and compete for the best time. We also have a corporate or just a civilian. So anyone, any company, any group of friends, you get 5 people together, you can compete in the same events, and then see whoever has the best times in those events. The difference from our event versus some of the others is that we do it on Pensacola Beach, so you're doing it in the sand, which adds a pretty big degree of difficulty to everything that everyone's doing. So
very cool. But I can think it is it the same at the same time, like you mentioned, you got the swim going on in Santa Rosa Sound. Who's involved with that one, and can people sign up to participate, or how does that one work?
We've got 3 different distances we'll do. We'll do a 0.6 mile, we'll do a 1.2 mile, and a 2.4 mile. It's an out and back, so there's basically 3 different turnarounds to match those 3 different distances. We partner with Salty Sports Society Their owner, Matt Dunn, puts on open water swims all across Florida, and we're part of their series. So they start with us here in April, and they've got 5 or 6 other open water swims throughout different beaches in Florida. So we've worked with them and brought their expertise for that type of event in, and we help them with logistics and the marketing to the local area. So,
Very
and
cool.
that'll be Saturday morning, April 23rd at 9 a.m. So, and all of these events you can sign up for on our website at pensacolasports.org.
Okay, yeah, good. We'll put that up on the screen so people know where to go. We talked about Sunbelt and the SEC, but also you guys have another event coming up in May, right? With college athletics.
We're hosting the NAIA Lacrosse Men's Championships. So we'll have 8 teams. We'll know who qualified basically at the end of April. So they will compete out in Ashton Brossenham Park. That's May 11th is the quarterfinals. The 12th, that Thursday, is the semis, and then the championship will be Saturday, the 14th, I believe. So yeah, we're bringing in 8 teams there. Lacrosse is, as a sport in the area, is obviously it's growing and it's kind of in its infancy. So this is a new type of sport that we're bringing in that we think kind of helps match some of the grassroots efforts that are going on at the youth level and the high school level as the sport of lacrosse grows here in Pensacola and on the Gulf Coast.
So you guys aren't all about events or physical events. You're also about celebrating the athletes, right? And you have one event coming up, the Senior Scholar athlete event coming up this spring. Tell us about that banquet of that event, and kind of what the point of that event is.
That event is to help celebrate the scholar athletes from all the sports in all the different local high schools. So the top academic achiever who plays each sport in each school is nominated and move forward, and then we select the overall scholar athlete for each sport, and then just kind of overall. And we're awarding scholarships to Pensacola State, to UWF, that are our internal, and also each of those 2 colleges has announcements for part of their scholarship based on that. But also we're celebrating the scholar athletes in the area and that may be going to, or where they're going to either continue both their academic and potentially their athletic careers at the collegiate level.
Very cool. Very cool. You guys do a lot of great stuff in the community. And I know we'll talk to you again very soon about some of the stuff coming up over the summer months. And then going into the fall, you guys seem like you have something coming up about every couple of weeks. Great events that you bring in from the outside. And then, of course, the great events that you host with the staff there at Pensacola Sports and all the legions of volunteers that you have that help put on these events. So, Jeff, thank you so much for coming on the program today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Cam. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And thank you for tuning in. Join us next month for another episode of Across the Gulf Coast.